You're tuned in to the Finding Life podcast, GenZ Coaching Corner. Real conversations that challenge how we think, live, and love. I'm Life, alongside Coach Jon, and together we explore what really matters. Today's episode, choices equal power, responsibility and control. We're breaking down how every choice gives you power, and how learning to respond instead of react is one of the biggest ways to take your power back. Let's get into it.
Here. Boom. Here we are, another Life Live, Finding Life, Next Gen, Week 3, Module 3, choices equal power, responsibility, control, and self-definition. Jon, why are we talking about choices, power, responsibility, and control?
I'm going to tell you right now, because we want to help our teens understand that they always have power, especially in one, how they respond, 2, who they choose to be, and 3, what they choose to walk away from.
So now, everything that I do, literally everything works together. I don't believe in wasting time, space, energy, or thought. And so last week we talked about the difference between reaction and responding. Y'all remember that? What's going on, Aaron? Listen, and make sure we jump in. And I almost forgot the most important folks here outside of our Next Gen members, our chat, those who are in our community. We got some parents here. We got some adults. We got some young folks, I believe. But again, we're going to invite them in. Y'all know what we're talking about, decisions. I'm going to throw y'all a question. What does reclaiming your power look like for a teen? When you were a teen, what did it look like when you decided that you was going to reclaim your power and you leveled up? What grade were you in when that happened? What grade were you in high school when you really saw yourself and leveled up? Right? And so, Jon, you say we're talking about this. Why? Remind me.
To help our teens understand that they always have power, first and foremost.
Okay.
Especially in one, how they respond. First one.
That's
Second, who they choose to be. And third, what they choose to walk away from.
Is there power in reacting?
There is.
Okay.
Right? You can react.
Yeah.
There's some power in it, but based on what those outcomes is all in how, what that situation.
I like to think of power as controlled energy.
Okay.
Right? So I think
energy. In that context.
I struggle. Sometimes I think that maybe there is no real power. There's energy in reacting. Mm-hmm. Right? It's a lot of energy. It's chaos. Right? Can come out of that. But when we look at power is focused energy. Right. And when you're able to focus that energy, then you're able to move things. Mm-hmm. And so that's the first thing. We're building from last week to this week. We have to remove reacting out of our character. Mm-hmm. Right. We have to be poised. We have to be ones who respond. Right. As members of this village, we respond. We don't react. We are poised. We think first. We love ourselves. And by loving ourselves, we fully understand that we must first preserve ourselves. We must first be kind to ourselves. Continuing to build. These things build. We first talked about being kind. Being kind with yourself allows you to respond instead of react. Now we're talking about how do you focus this power, this condensed energy? How do you really focus that as a team? And that's one of the things that we have to do is when you get old enough to understand where your power comes from, bro, let me ask you this. How does that power get expressed first?
When you're old enough?
No, not just when you're old enough, but how does that power get expressed? How does that focused power, focused energy get expressed? What is your weapon? What is your weapon that you have?
Your mind.
Externally, what do you use? So your mind is absolutely like, that's your storehouse, right? That's like your toolbox, right? I'm not gonna say take us to church, but what does the scripture say about what's your weapon? What's your sword?
Them hands.
Listen, so your weapon is your words.
Yeah.
That's where your power comes from.
That's true.
Right?
Life and death.
That's the life and death is in the power of your word. And
It's
so,
tongue.
see, listen, Jon don't brush his. I don't even want to talk to you. See, Teresa don't even know. Teresa don't even know that you don't brush your teeth every day. Yeah, I ain't gonna tell her.
Hygiene is the utmost.
That's
point
it.
This way,
That's
brother.
it, coaching. And they can't hear you. We got to figure out why they can't hear you.
Oh, they
on that
can't hear
side
me at all.
again.
I got both mics on.
I know we got both.
What about now?
Let's
Testing
see.
1 2 1 2.
Let's
Testing
see.
1
We got
2.
to make sure that we got
1
the
2.
one on the
Mic check
on
1
the
2.
mic.
I said a mic check 1, 2.
So your words.
Yeah. Okay.
So your words. Let me see. Let me see. Let's see if y'all can hear him now. Can y'all let me know?
How about now?
Y'all can hear him a little bit better. But your words, right? Your words. When you react, you typically bypass your words and you get to action. Right. That's when they get their hands.
Secondary.
Right. That's secondary. Right. There you go. Boom. We fixed it.
Okay. Perfect.
So now they get them hands. That's when you're reacting. It's you bypass your most important and powerful tool, which is the weapon of your words, the power of your tongue, right? When you can speak intentionally, that will move a lot, right? So we have to first, in this, once you've been kind to yourself, you understand how the difference between reacting and responding. Now it's time to, if I give you a gun, don't I got to give you something to go with that? What's that? What you shoot out of a gun?
A bullet.
So if I give you a gun by itself, what you gonna do with it? You may swing it. It's just a little extension of them hands, right?
Pistol whip.
Right. But you need bullets. That's your words. A lot of us don't that you get a whole bunch of different kinds. If I give you a 9mm, and I hate we talking about this, but I give you a 9mm and I go and if I give you AK-47 bullets, what you gonna do with that?
I would hope,
right?
You don't put that.
You're gonna throw them. You're gonna throw them.
Right.
So what you need to make sure you do is understand what words you're using, and you need to understand the definitions of those words. So first and foremost, what I need us to do is define choices, right? Define the choices that you made as a child that shaped your path for better or for worse. What are you? Who are you? What is your value? And when you can put those things into words, that will help you to understand that value. And when you understand the value, that'll help you use your power. I don't need to react right now like that. I need to think. And when I can think and I can speak using my words, that's going to come from out of the abundance of the heart. The mouth speaks. So if you know yourself and you love yourself and you've been kind to yourself, what you're going to speak is something that makes sense. You're not going to just rattle off and spew off at the mouth. You're going to speak something that makes sense. And that's because you've done that work inside, right? Your heart is within yourself. So, but why do you think teens, I'm not going to say they don't believe their choices matter, right? But how do we teach them responsibility without blaming them, right? How are we able to teach them to take on the responsibility of their words and take on the responsibility of what we're saying and what we're trying to teach without blaming them when they do something bad, right? How do we do that?
I say the biggest part of it is modeling it, because like we always hear, it's easier said than done. Yeah. So I think a big part of it is having to show them, especially now day and age, because teens nowadays they can sift bullshit out from a mile away. Yeah. So you can say it, but if you ain't modeling it, it don't mean nothing to them. Right. And so I think that's the big part of it, is showing them how it's done. Yeah.
Winnie says from the chat, Winnie says, give them something to care for. Right.
I like that.
And I think sometimes that works in a way, Winnie, and I really appreciate you sharing that. I think that works in a way, but I want our kids to always understand, going back, a lot of the kids that we serve, like you said, John, go back to our tweens. Mama can't do this for me. I remember I tell a lot of, when we were in the schools, in the high schools, and we did the research and we presented the research to the district, and I shared with them, there's kids that no matter how good their grades are, their Christmas is going to suck. That's just no matter how great their behavior is, they're going to come back from spring break and not have nothing to tell you good. Right? So the incentives, sometimes it's very difficult to find external incentives, right? And I'm not looking at you on purpose, right? It's very difficult to find external incentives for some kids and some teens and some families. And the one thing that I can always make sure that I tell kids, if you close your eyes and look on the inside of you, you have a dream.
Yeah.
You have something that you're passionate about. And that is incentive enough. If you can see it, that it in and of itself is your incentive. If you don't got nothing else, and y'all are teens, so if you ain't got shit else, if you ain't got a pot to piss in, a lot of our kids in next gen, we literally don't. We have nothing externally. We have to learn to go within and see everything and understand that is as real as the things that you see on the outside. That's good. And so I asked you this, and I asked let me go go back to the chat. AMAC says, I always go for what's your dream. Yeah. We ask that question a lot because they can connect that value, right? They can truly connect that value to themselves. And then I asked them this, what's your talents? What are you really good at? What's your gift? So,
and I think another way, and we've done this before with a lot of the teams, in teaching responsibility. We took it as simple as, I know we took, a lot of them have ideas, brilliant ideas or gifts, talents. And we did like the entrepreneur
yes,
workshop.
That was great. Yeah.
And so you were teaching them what's responsibility, your ability to respond. What does that look like?
Yes.
Taking ownership of the results that come based off the choices and decisions you make. So we took that simple kind of workshop, or just workshop we did with them, where it was tasked with, hey, what is it you want to do, right? Or what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You had them, I like to clean shoes, or I like to do this. Okay, well, let's go out. What is it? How much money you trying to make this summer, right? And so let's actually take this particular piece and put it into practical work, so you can now really learn responsibility.
I get chills because I look to my left and I see AMAC say, her students will say that they don't have a dream. And she says, okay, well, now it's time to dream together. Right. And that right there. When you say to a kid, oh, well, great. That's a great place to be. Let's dream together. Right. That gives permission for the unthinkable and the unfathomable. And that in and of itself is a level of love that a lot of kids and teens, especially teens, don't have and desperately seek after. Is just a feeling of love and just acceptance, and somebody to be there with them in dreaming about something good is absolutely something that we can do. And it goes back to the question that I asked you all. How do we tell them to reclaim that, right? It's two things, right? When were you, or how old were you? What grade were you in when you reclaimed that power? When you looked at life and you said, you know what, I had a dream for myself. This value is within, and you really turned up for yourself. When did that happen for you, bro?
Oh man, I can't even say it happened in high school. I'd be honest, it didn't really happen for me until I got older. Right? So I was out of high school.
You was out of high school.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm talking about even out of college.
Wow.
Right? And so
wow. Okay.
And
I'm not saying wow, like
no. That's
like
what
a bad
saying.
thing.
That's what I was saying. Like even earlier, we were saying, man, had I just some of the choices and decisions I made on it, I might have saved about 15, 20 years of my life, and
for real,
in the trajectory in which I was headed. But
so Coach Jenkins, and Winnie said we turned into a Christmas house and had all of the no family kids do Thanksgiving and stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
I love that.
Coach Jenkins, what's going on? I appreciate you jumping in. I ask my football players, what's your purpose? If they don't know, I try to help them find it. Same thing, right? Yeah. That AMAC says, talking about your dream, talking about your purpose, when they're able to find that. I'll tell you, for me, it happened from the 10th to the 11th grade, right? Going into the 11th grade, I started to take myself serious. And when I took myself serious, I think I took a level of, it was a bit of performativeness, right? So I would perform that, and it wasn't true. But that was when it deposited in me that I truly had a lot of capacity, not just potential, but I could do a lot. And I knew that in the 10th grade, and it was very difficult for me because I had no space or place to cultivate that, right? Everybody around me either knew me and knew who I was and didn't have the capacity to help me cultivate these things, right? Or just left me, kind of had that little bit of envy. So I want to challenge, what's the tool that we're going to leave them with today? Because, we got to make sure that we bring it all the way back all the time.
Power of choice reflection map.
What's that mean?
So this is where teens are able to complete a visual map of a past or current decision, tracing possible path and consequences. Using this to build confidence in their ability to lead their lives with intention, not impulse or fear.
The best way that I can explain this, y'all, and y'all tell me if I'm wrong, I'm bringing in the chat here. We got to teach kids how to cook.
That's a fact.
Right? You don't get to
I know how to cook some good spaghetti, boy.
Yeah, and that's typically one of the first things you do.
Hey.
Listen, pot of water, boil it, noodles, meat, sauce, boom. Together, whatever. So in this, again, just like the tweens, where do you practice to make decisions at that don't matter? Right? Like that. Where does a kid get a chance to practice making decisions that don't have consequences? Good luck, bro. Good luck finding and see that's the
welcome to life.
And listen, Jessica says home, right? Home. Here's the thing with that. Some homes, you have to put that in front of it. And the longer and longer we go without the proper mental health supports, the fewer and fewer homes that's possible in.
Yep.
Because everything has a consequence. You look wrong, it's a consequence. You think you were joking, and it's a consequence. You get cussed out. It's some homes are not the same reason why we had to start free lunch programs. Same reason we had to start not giving kids homework and making them do everything at school. The home began to deteriorate, and it no longer is a assured, conducive environment to cultivate thriving. And things like responding versus reacting, that's a thriving trait, right? That's not a survival trait, right? You cannot do that in survival mode. You cannot the body will not do that in survival mode. So if your home is the jungle, you cannot get it there. And I challenge, so it's, and I appreciate that. And y'all hear me, my passion is because I'm seeing kids in my mind who will tell me I can't do that. Like, nah, I can't. So this is where we practice. Where we practice is in your mind, where you do everything else.
That's home base right there.
That is home. Mm-hmm. Home is in your mind. That's why you have to keep it clean.
That's a fact.
Because you have to be willing and ready to dwell there when you need to. And so what you end up doing, that reflection mapping, is go and think about a decision and reflect on that. And just like a tree, create new branches of opportunity and possibilities. What would have happened if I did this? What do I think would have happened if I did that?
Guard your heart.
And what that is say that again.
Guard your heart.
You're guarding your heart, but you're also developing your heart.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you can do that, then you're able to create a forever safe space in your mind. Mm-hmm. And that's the one thing that I can tell our teens. You might not be able to control the environment around you, but you can always close your eyes and go within. Mm-hmm. So that's what we're going to leave y'all with. Listen, y'all know your uncle love you. What's the information? Tell them how they need to connect with us and things they need to do.
Your community, you can go to your top right-hand corner. You see that chat button to the top right-hand right there?
Yeah.
Click on that. Coach is available. Talk, chop it up. You got any questions, whatever it is you need, connect in with one of our coaches, and or if you need any crisis support.
Yes, crisis support.
To the left of our community, you'll see a crisis support area where you can go and get information, get resources, and also book one-on-one sessions as well.
And let me just be very, 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 very transparent and clear, right? A crisis, some of us have different threshold of pain. Right? A crisis is simply when something is not working right and you don't know how to fix it.
Yep.
That's it. Anything. Simple. There's no depth of crisis. No, they don't gonna care about that. Yes, listen, if there's something that's not working properly, your mind, your body, something that's not working properly, environment, I need you, and you don't know how to fix it, that's a crisis.
Yep.
Reach out, right? Connect with us. As we leave, I want to go ahead and tell y'all, bring in the chat so I can make sure we honor our chat because they love you as well. Love you like we love you. Let's go down. Teresa say, once we had trust, then we tackle stuff together. Absolutely. Winnie say, you can come over here. Winnie say, if you can't get it at home, you can come over here. Mac, I believe the dream is there early on, but may not be realized until later on in life. That's my testimony. That's my life right there. The seed was planted in high school and it didn't bloom until I was 28 years old. Teresa, John, I'm gonna need you to learn a couple more recipes, brother. He said that spaghetti ain't gonna cut it.
Well, you gotta teach me something.
Oh, see.
Hey, you gotta teach me.
Jessica
something.
said you should have the safe space. You should have that say. Absolutely. Mac, if I can engage him early, made it ignite later. Exactly. Some homes. Yes. Sin, what's going on, love? How you doing? Appreciate you jumping in. Let's go down. Let me see what else I missed. Aaron says, home is in your mind. You will never leave you. Woo. Come on now.
Who said that?
Aaron say that. Listen.
Coach Aaron.
Come on, Coach
Aaron.
Coach Aaron. Come on, sign up. Listen. Love this discussion. Me too. Hear him every day. Listen, we love you guys so much. Let me make sure I don't miss nothing. There's some great stuff. Hey, G Pat. My brother Pat in the building. What's going on, man? Love you, man. Love you a lot, bro. I'm so happy you here. Listen. All right, we out of here, bro. Teens. I'm talking for my next gen teens. I love you. Unc, love you.
Love y'all.
Listen, it's not weird. Tell somebody else that you love them. Go give somebody a hug. Sometimes you need that. Man. We'll talk to y'all next week.
That's it.
Thanks for listening to the Finding Life podcast, GenZ Coaching Corner with Life and Coach Jon. Remember, every moment is a choice, and your response is your power. Keep growing, keep choosing, and keep becoming.